But anyway, he does that, and Alan Stang does 2 years for fighting a rotten, evil, illegal system. And it's disgusting. And
do you think
anyway,
do you think a deal was made with Madoff so that, or Madoff, so that he would release the other people involved?
No, because they know everybody who's involved. Christopher Cox, the Bush family, the Clintons, Schumer, Paulson, Goldman Sachs, J.P. Morgan Chase, the Greenwich hedge fund, and the other hedge fund, both of whom are controlled by the Rothschilds. This thing is so dirty. This shows you how arrogant these people are. They break the law and they don't care. They've stolen $100 billion. And everybody in Washington knows what went down. I've got the information right here. We've been publishing it in the International Forecaster. And there's more coming tomorrow. And you got all these people pontificating, usually co-religionists. Oh, you know, maybe he didn't do what he meant to do that, or all this crap.
Right.
You know, and, you know, they all ought to shut up. I mean, this man has done irreparable damage to the Jewish community. And if I was Jewish, I would be totally irate that he'd done this to his own people. Awful. It doesn't get any lower than that. And the people who he did it with, against good people, by and large, I would assume, they're all criminals. I just named them off. They do what they want to do. Anyway.
Some of these investors that lost money with him, that the courts can actually go after their assets.
Yeah, because they've been paid out over the last few years, you mean?
Yeah, that the courts can actually go after the people who've lost millions of dollars and go after their assets.
Oh, I talked to somebody in...
That's amazing.
I talked to somebody in Israel 2 days ago, and they assured me that the United States government, the American taxpayer, is going to bail everybody out. So take it for what it's worth. Treat it as a rumor. In fact, on that issue, I just got a email from the editor-in-chief of the business section of one of the largest newspapers in the country. And he liked, you know, the things I had to say, and so on and so forth. And we're putting the link to the blog for this newspaper, because it's one of the best of the rest. I mean, they don't get to the total truth because they can't. If they did, they'd be out of business in 15 seconds. There'd be dead people everywhere. That's why I don't live in the United States, because if I did, I'd be dead by now. Anyway, he asked if he could be on my mailing list, because he said so many people had sent him transcripts or copies of my publication. He felt impelled to email me and ask me if he could see it every time it was published, because he wanted to use it in his newspaper. And the newspaper's the New York Post. You'll see it go up on the site, because we're going to use his blog. And so anyway, I guess that's about it on that. It's nice to know that there are people who think that you're doing the right thing, who are professionals in the media field. Of course, it's hard for them to speak out, because if they do, they lose their jobs. And it's interesting coming from the Post, because Dorothy Schiff, who used to own the Post years ago, she was a communist. And it was a very, very left-wing publication. It's not today, but it was many years ago. And the Schiff family was Jacob Schiff, and the Schiffs were part of the Warburg group that formed the Federal Reserve System, the IRS, the ADL, all on the same day. There was 5 things that they did on that day in 1913. Anyway, incidentally, I have a videotape link in the current issue at the end of the U.S. section, which talks about that. From, of all people, Louis Farrakhan. And I put it in there because he's absolutely right. And, wherever truth comes from, I want to know about it. And so when we got that tape in there, for those of you who want to look at it, I'll tell you, we put a tremendous amount of information in there. And again, why I do these links is that I can't write everything. If I did, you'd have 100 pages twice a week. So by using the links, you can pick and choose the subjects that you want to delve more deeply into that I don't have to go and write because somebody else already wrote about it. They can write about it just as good, if not better, than I can. That's my thinking, is to get information, good information, into the public's hands so they could know everything that's going on that they can't learn on the evening news. You might call this two things. A helping hand to the public who doesn't know but should know. And it's gotten so bad. The news is so crummy, so without value, that I told Judy I think we should rename the International Forecaster to the International Financial and Economic Inquirer. And then they start carrying it in the supermarket. But anyway, that's how bad the news is. I mean, look at the employment figures today. They're lying about them. They're much higher than that. What did they lose? What was it? 55 or 555,000 jobs in 1 month? I know it's not funny, but the figures are exactly what we had predicted before in gross numbers. And we know they're not telling us the truth. How really bad are they? And I think that the long-term unemployment, this goes back to 1990 now, this is government figures, is about 16.3%. The intermediate term, U6, and we'll have new numbers soon, is around 13.5%. And that's a real number. And, of course, you get this garbage number of 6.7 or whatever it is, 7%. It means nothing. Just another lie. And unemployment is a terrible, terrible situation. And if, as I said before in the program, if you've done well in gold and silver, which most of you have, and you've made some money, some of you have made lots and lots of money, you should think of finding families that really need help. By helping, to get food for the family or pay an electric bill or something like that. Or clothing for the children and, let the parents freeze. No, I don't mean that. But you know what I'm talking about. There's no better way that you can spend your money than helping your fellow man. And there's just no two ways about it. So think on that and pray on it. It's a good thing for you to do. And it makes you feel great. And the reason I know that's what we do with all our money. And we virtually give it away. And to poor people. And, of course, it's used effectively. And that's the thing you should be doing. There's a lot of hardship out there. And in many instances, yes, they got themselves into it. But remember, God didn't give everybody a brain like yours, which is a real good one. It was all uneven. Some people got 85 IQs, and you got 135. You had a great blessing. So give something back. Now, I have two questions. One's from David, the other's from John. They've sent questions in before. And David sent a chart. And it's right here. It's very interesting. Equities versus gold. And on one side, it shows the equity indexes and how much they've fallen against gold. And in the USA, stocks have fallen 38% against gold. In Canada, 35%. Brazil, 40%. The UK, 31%. Germany, 39%. France, 41%. Russia, 68%. Wow. India, 53%. Indonesia, 50%. Hong Kong, 48%. China, 64%. Australia, 42%. And Japan, 40%.